Which means it's time for our weekend box office report brought to you by our friends at AMC Theatres. Coming in at number 1 for the second week in a row is the NWA biopic Straight Outta Compton, bringing in $26.7 million, dropping 55% from its first week, which is respectable considering there were 3 new wide-release films this week. Coming in at number 2 is Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, making $11.7 million, dropping only 31% in its third week, bringing its domestic total up to $157 million. In third spot is the horror sequel Sinister 2, making $10.6 million, exceeding its modest $10 million production budget. In the number 4 spot is Hitman Agent 47, only making $8.2 million on its opening weekend. Rounding out the top 5 is The Man from U.N.C.L.E, bringing in $7.4 million on its second weekend, dropping just 41% from last week. John, what stood out to you about this week's box office report?
2 things that really stand out to me. Man from U.N.C.L.E, only dropping 41% from week 1 to week 2. Goes to show strong word of mouth. It was a good, fun film. I was really glad to see that. Another thing that really stands out is on Friday, all 3 of us completely botched and butchered our box office predictions.
Right.
I think we all nailed Straight Outta Compton coming in at number 1. None of us got number 2 right. Then we floundered somewhere in 3 and 4. But that leads us to the other thing. We all said American Ultra was going to be in the top 5, and that's the other thing that stands out. American Ultra did not even crack the top 5. And I don't see, some people were tweeting me and asking me, is this a condemnation on Jesse Eisenberg? That nobody wanted to go and see Jesse Eisenberg. And I don't think it is at all, to be honest. Like I said last week, I found the marketing of American Ultra to be incredibly bland. None of it appealed to me. The only thing that caught my attention was a clip that came out that premiered exclusively on Collider.com, as a matter of fact, with that grocery store action scene. That's the only thing that made me go, oh, well, maybe this is all right. Other than that, all the trailers looked incredibly bland to me. Nothing looked interesting. So I guess we shouldn't be surprised that it didn't come in the top 5, although I think all of us still put it in our top 5. Anyway, what on the box office report stands out to you?
I mean, Hitman, at least kudos to Hitman, because the marketing made me know that there was a movie called Hitman Agent 47 that was coming out this week, because I really wasn't that aware of Sinister 2, and I work in the space, no idea American Ultra was coming out. You see billboards, you see quick ads for it, you have no idea what the movie's about, and apparently I didn't see American Ultra, I missed the screening for it. I heard it's pretty good, which is a shame that it didn't do better, because maybe if they had a little more confidence in it, it would have done well. You have Jesse Eisenberg and Kristen Stewart in there, and my twin Topher Grace. It should have at least been able to crack the top 5. It's nice to see 2 spy movies in the top 5. Like
right.
it shows
3 actually.
People still
sorry.
NWA wasn't really spies; they were more rappers. It's nice.
That's how good of a spies that they are.
Right.
You didn't even
undercover.
know.
Deep cover.
That's right. Hey, look, Ice Cube can play a spy in his new movie Cubed, coming out next year.
By the way, last week we asked people, guys, Schnepp mentioned something about Ice Cube, Ice-T, Vanilla Ice, and I said, hey, you guys make us some posters, and I should have brought some in because you guys sent us some amazing
They were awesome.
feature film posters for Ice Cubed, starring Ice Cube, Vanilla Ice, and Ice-T. They were just awesome. Thank you so much. And maybe American Ultra would have made a little bit more money if the heads of the studio went, you know what? Let's just tell people that is Mark Ellis. And I bet you anything, more interest would have been generated in it. Anyway, Schnepp, what stands out to you on the box office?
Yeah, obviously the big missing American Ultra, you know, and the weirdest thing is when you look at their ad campaigns, it always reminded me of like a 1960s like San Francisco Zap comic. It didn't feel like it was a movie. It looked like it was the cover of a magazine, like a hipster magazine. So I think the posters and their ad campaign failed. Also didn't have a date. Like prominently, like coming this whatever date it's supposed to be coming out. So I didn't know it was coming out, and until we started talking about it last week. Oh, it's coming out this weekend, and then the trailers themselves were kind of all over the place. Like I liked a lot of parts of the trailers, like, oh, it's a stoner spy, and then he becomes kind of a Born Identity thing. But then those Topher Grace scenes that you were in were like so weirdly overacted. It threw me out of even the trailer.
Yeah, I get excited on set. Sorry.
So, I'm looking forward to seeing the movie. All my friends said it's really fun, so I'm going to see it. It's a disappointment that other people didn't go see it. That's the big thing that stands out to me, as well as Mission Impossible. You know, just staying at number 2.
Yeah,
that's
none of us
pretty
mentioned
amazing.
That's a good thing to mention. Yeah, which is a testimony to like how good that film is, and it is one of the, if arguably the best film of the summer.
Yeah, action
really
film.
strong.
I mean, just the word of mouth. Everybody who left that theater the night that I saw it, we were just like, oh my god, and we just told everyone. So
You know,
That's
a
the
couple
word
of
of
things that let's give some credit to where credit's due. Ashley mentioned it, but hey, kudos to Sinister 2 and Blumhouse once again. $10 million budget. Once again, Blumhouse just they know how to do this, man. They crank out these films on lunch money, and they become profitable. It already exceeded its production budget of $10 million just domestically in its opening week. So good for Blumhouse again. And with Agent 47, I finally found out how much it cost them to make the Agent 47, which was $35 million. A very modest amount. It's going to keep them from losing too much money on that film, but it just highlights again, man, they tried to make a $100 million movie on a $35 million budget, and it really showed.
Oh, you know what I was going to mention about Sinister 2 is it's just indicative of this year. Horror films across the board have all made money. Every single horror film that's been released has made its money back.
Right, but a horror movie that comes out now in August should do better. I'm sorry. Like Sinister 2, I wasn't a fan of it. I was disappointed by it. With the name brand like Sinister, the first one was a really good movie. It should have done better than $10 million. I don't care how much money it cost to make. Right. It should have been around 15 to 20.
You're just mad because you predicted it to come in second place on your box office.
I'm so upset. My kids are now going to have to go to public school.